everybody. Welcome to another episode of Two Strike Noise, your weekly baseball history podcast. My name is Jeff. I am one half of the show. The other half of the show is Mark A. Johnston. He's back from his rehab stint. I think you were missing the last show, weren't you? But anyways, welcome back.
Yeah, I was rehabbing in the Caribbean in the middle of December. Yeah, no, it's good to be back. You know, holidays can get crazy, and then I took a vacation during that, and it just got super busy for me. And I felt like Christmas was on me like within a matter of days. You know, very grateful for Amazon for getting everything to my house within a day.
Well, welcome back, and welcome back to all of our listeners. You know, you were back for one show, but we had David from the 88 Tops podcast do Wax Packs Heroes. So you were back for one. So I take that all back. You're not welcome back. Just
welcome.
Welcome. Yes. To the first show of 2025. Thank you, everybody. Hope everybody had peaceful holidays if you celebrated that. Before we get started here in earnest, though, I did just want to take a minute to myself. This is our first show back since the unfortunate passing of Rickey Henderson just 2 days before his birthday. And if you've listened to the show just once or met me in passing one time, the entire time I've inhabited this planet, I am sure I have talked to you about Rickey Henderson. And I mean, everybody knows I've had a hard year. Not everybody knows everything, but that was the cherry on top of just an awful 6 months for me personally. And a lot of people getting in contact with me via email, direct messages, just, you know, any way. Some people I hadn't talked to for a decade or more. Some people listen to the show, but maybe have never really interacted. And I just wanted to, first of all, say thank you very much. I very much appreciate thinking of me. I have not been able to get back to everybody. I haven't even gotten back to some of my close friends. I'm still just not ready to talk about it. Like I said, I've had a lot of things that I have not shared here go just sideways the last 6 months. And this was a really hard one for me. It was not the only person that I have lost. I've lost people I actually know my name this last year, and it's been really hard. And I really appreciate everybody that did reach out or thought of me, and I really do appreciate it. Again, if you've listened to me or met me at any point in my life, Rickey is the guy that got me into baseball, which is my passion, and has been the focus of that passion for most of my life. And it was unexpected, and I am still having a hard time with it. I just wanted to say this. I've talked to Mark about this. We're not going to do some sort of tribute show or go on about it. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. And we're going to move on and get on with our regular show format and so forth. But I did just want to say thank you to everybody that did reach out and thought of me when you heard that news. And I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I just want to throw in that somebody that may scoff at something like that. It's a big deal to us. You're talking to two guys who are borderline obsessed with baseball, and these guys are like part of our lives every day. And we started a baseball history podcast. That's how much we love baseball. So something like this does take a toll on us. I was very upset. I can't imagine how you felt, Jeff, but it's good to get back on the air and start talking about baseball again.
Yeah, so let's talk about some things that are not related to that. And to be honest, we're gonna have kind of a soft landing here for the first show. After that, don't have a whole lot planned other than just some shorter stories here. But I know I've been just kind of stockpiling little things that I see here and there over the past 2 weeks and wanted to talk about it. So let's talk about some baseball stuff here, Mark. One of these things was our two favorite Jamaicans.
Yes.
Chili Davis and Devon White, our two favorite Jamaican baseball players, who I brought up on our stream earlier today on Twitch. In the Immaculate Grid, I brought both of them up. I don't remember why, but I got stuff to talk about them here. First of all, Devon White, a pretty good base stealer. That wasn't the whole part of his game, but he was a good base stealer. Had 346 career stolen bases, which is a buttload.
That's a lot of stolen bases.
Yes. Now, he was also caught stealing 98 times in his career. Now, if you ask me to name other players that had been caught stealing exactly 98 times in their career, I would have thrown a lot of names out there. But at no point would I have thrown his Kingston, Jamaica brother, Chili Davis, out there as having the exact same total of caught stealings.
That's crazy.
Chili Davis, 98.
Not the center fielder.
No, he did play center field. Looking here, the first almost decade of his career, he did play center field as well as the two corner outfield positions. But yeah, you don't think of him.
I remember him as a DH.
Yeah, definitely later in his career. But look at his first full year, he stole 24 bases. That was his career high. But he had 6 consecutive years of double figures with stolen bases. Wow. He ended up with 142 career stolen bases for Chili Davis, which, again, I would have never thought he had that many. But it's just weird that, the two biggest names, there's only been 5 players from Jamaica, period, that have played in Major League Baseball. And I have not heard of the other 2, the other 3, which would have been Oscar Levis in the 20s, Ronald Roomes, Roomes, from 1988 through 1990. He played with the Reds, the Cubs, and the Expos. And then Justin Masterson from 2008 to 2015. He was a pitcher mainly with Cleveland. Look at all these nicknames he had, though. Bat Masterson, Big Masty, Nasty Masty, or Masty.
Wow. Those are some good ones, too.
Those are some 80 great nicknames right there. But there's only been 5 players from Jamaica at all to be in the big leagues, and Chili Davis and Devon White are the 2 biggest, and for them to have the same amount of caught stealing, I thought was rather odd. I noticed this next fact when I looked up the players from Jamaica, and I looked at the pitching, and I saw the aforementioned Oscar Levis and Justin Masterson, but I also saw, unbeknownst to me, but, of course...
Oh, but announced now by you.
Yeah, now announced by me. Chili Davis pitched in a game at one point in his career. It was against the Rangers. It was in 1993, June 17th. The Rangers barely squeaked by with this one. They won 18-2. 18-2 game that took 3 hours and 3 minutes. Can you imagine?
Jeez. How did they get 18 runs across that quick?
They had 18 hits, 18 runs, 18 hits, and this game took 3 hours and 3 minutes. Chili Davis did not start this game. In fact, he did not even go to the plate once. He just came in relief and pitched the final 2 innings where he gave up no runs. 2 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, didn't strike or walk anybody. I guess he just lobbed it down the middle and got some outs. But a career 0 ERA with 2 innings pitched. Not too bad.
No. I mean, we all wish for a career 0 ERA.
So congratulations to Chili, the chill dog.
A little bit on Chili Davis's prowess stealing bases. 5 seasons during his career, he was caught more often than he was saved for successful stealing.
Why are you trying to tear him down?
I'm not. I'm just saying, you said that you wouldn't have expected him to have 98 caught stealings. Well, I agree. It's just there was a number of times where it's funny because he was stealing bases, and then one year he was safe 9 times out of 19, and then he really kind of stopped running.
I think it was a good idea.
Yeah.
Manager probably said, all right, Chili, let's
just hit the ball.
You're on like a 12. I need you down here like a 6. Let's just stay on the base. Let's see here. Roberto Alomar. Now, Roberto Alomar on our do not talk about list. Of course, the spitting incident, but then the Blue Jays removed him from their Hall of Fame. But I was unaware of this. So he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2011. And then he was banned from baseball in 2021 after an independent investigation. into some claims made by a female Toronto Blue Jays staffer in 2014. The Blue Jays subsequently removed a banner honoring him from the Rogers Center, and they have severed all ties with him. However, he is still in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame and is currently the only ineligible player to be enshrined into Cooperstown.
Interesting.
So we've talked about these players that are banned for baseball. Remember, Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle were banned at one point.
That's right.
But then reinstated. So Roberto Alomar is literally the only person that is in the Hall of Fame that technically should not be in the Hall of Fame anymore. I've never heard of anybody being removed from the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. So I don't think that would happen.
I'm not familiar with that either.
Unless, I don't know, he blew up the world or something. Well, then I guess everybody would be erased from the Hall of Fame.
But there is that option.
Yeah. So Roberto Alomar firmly on our do not talk about list, even though we're talking about him right now. But we have to abide by Major League Baseball's. He's been banned from baseball. So there you go. I found a story about, this has to be one of our listeners, Chuck Hildebrandt. If you're listening to us, of Chicago, if you're listening to us, drop us a line. There's a story here that Chuck found a baseball book in his possession that he checked out in 1974.
Tropic of Capricorn?
No. That's a good Seinfeld reference. It's a good way to start out the season, though, with that, Mr. Bookman. But no, this guy checked out a book called Baseball's Zaniest Stars, which really seems like a book that we would be referencing here on this podcast.
Yes, it does. We like the zany.
Now, Chuck Hildebrandt here, though, seems like he's looking for a little bit of publicity here because he found this book. And the first thing he did is he went to the library and said, hey, let's publicize that I'm bringing this back. And then the library said, no, it's okay. So you can keep it. But to his credit, he is going on to raise $4,564 for Reading is Fundamental, which I think, isn't that like the Reading Rainbow?
I don't know if it's the same thing, but
something like that.
Yeah, I believe it's similar.
Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing that a lot growing up. But he's raising that money, which is what he figured out that the charge for returning the book that he checked out in 1974 would be.
Oh, nice.
So, good for him.
That's pretty cool.
This just sounds like he was looking for some content. So, Chuck Hildebrandt, we see you. We see you there.
You're a good man for bringing it back. People need to learn about the zany.
That's why I tune in here. All right. Now, Mark, I did something for both you and our listeners here last week.
Okay.
Even though it is not our annual 420 show, I imbibed in some herb, and I sat back and I watched about 2 hours of Family Feud.
I'm sorry, but you just don't seem like the Family Feud type to me. I don't know.
No, and this was not the original Family Feud with Richard Dawson. This was not Celebrity Family Feud. This is not the Family Feud with, who's the host now?
Steve
Urkel, or not Steve Urkel.
That was awesome.
It'd be a lot funnier if it was Steve Urkel, but Steve. You know who I'm talking about.
Steve Harvey.
There you go. Steve Harvey. Not that. This is from 1988, where the host was Ray Combs.
Yeah.
And Steve Harvey is the only living host of this show. We should point out he's just living on borrowed time. But this is Ray Combs. The reason I sat back and watched 2 hours of this crap fest was that the head of a family that went on to win 5 days, a whole week's worth of shows, was none other than all Oakland A's favorite manager of all time, Bob Geren.
No kidding.
This is a regular Family Feud. He had only made 10 appearances in the big leagues at this time, but he was the head of the family. They lasted for 5 days. They won a total of, now get this, $7,666. To split amongst 5 of them.
Wow, that's like minimum wage.
Yeah, it is then and now. Same thing. So
Right.
First off, Bob, I thought, showed all the personality that as A's fans we witnessed during his term as a manager. Ray Combs asked him at one point, the question was the best female singer currently. This is in 1988, remember. Bob, they were trying to steal the money, and the rules had apparently changed since the Richard Dawson era. But the other family didn't get the question right, and so Bob and the Gerens had a chance to steal, and so all of his family are giving him names, and he decides to go out on his own and say Dolly Parton.
Okay.
Again, this is 1988.
Sure.
So, of course, Ray Combs, the host, makes an awful sexist joke about Dolly Parton's appearance. Bob, blank stare. Just blank stare. Now that I'm thinking about, maybe I should be giving Bob for credit for just like ignoring the cliched, sexist joke.
Insert Dolly Parton joke here.
Yeah. Like maybe Bob was woke at this point and I've got it all wrong. But anyway, the second show that they're on, they're introduced, they do the little poses and they come running down. Let's play the feud. And the Geren family is introduced. Bob's brother-in-law, by the way, is named Dude.
Dude?
Dude
Geren?
Well, no, it's his brother-in-law. So I think he's got a different last name.
So is it the Dude?
No, it's just Dude.
So he didn't have a White Russian.
No,
okay.
And he was not wearing a sweater. He was
okay.
I
was confused for a minute.
Well, I think everybody was when he was introduced as Dude. But getting past that, Ray says to Bob that they had reviewed tape from the Geren's first appearance and saw something that they didn't like. And so they brought them back for a rematch. Now, I want to know what the heck happens on Family Feud that can cause a rematch.
That's a good question.
I think this is what I came up with. One of the Gerens was a member, or maybe one of the other team was a member of the 100 people surveyed for one of the questions. So they already knew one of the answers.
Okay.
Either that or there were garbage cans being banged on off stage at some point. I don't know. But the first episode they appear on and they win the fast money. So that's $5,000. Then the next 4 times they never win fast money. And that's how they only won $2,066 after that. But just trust me, if this shows up on your YouTube feed, no need to watch it. I've done it for you. Don't worry about it. It's not worth your time unless you're, same state that I was.
Yeah, in fact, it's probably suggestible to be in that state.
Oh, I think you might need to be. Again, I got something new here that I found. I found a team name that I'm in love with.
Yeah, okay.
The Omaha Omahogs.
I like that.
This was a team back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And at one point in 1936, in August, there was a fire at the stadium where the Omahogs played, forcing Omaha to move to Rock Island, Illinois to finish the season. And they changed their name to the Rock Island Rocks. We've talked about these teams that just have the lowest effort team names I've ever seen. The Rock Island Rocks are right up there. Was nobody employed to come up with team names back in the early 1900s? Or I don't know. They could have had a contest or something. If we became a baseball team under these rules, it would be like calling ourselves the Two Strike Noise Strikes. Or the Two Strike Noises. I haven't determined which one, but
gotcha. Yeah,
low effort name there. Several Hall of Famers though have played in Omaha as an Omahog, including Joe Kelly, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1971. Kid Nichols, who we've talked about before, he went into the Hall of Fame in 1949. Frank Seeley was a manager who was inducted in 1999. And one of our favorite, he's not a Hall of Famer, but one of our favorite 1898 Cleveland Spiders and 1899 St. Louis Perfectos, Patsy Tebow, also was an Omahog. And if you go back to our last show, Babe Herman played for Omaha in 1922, but at that point they were called the Omaha Buffaloes.
Well, that's way a step down.
Yeah, even though they were not located in Buffalo, they were called the Buffaloes. Speaking of Babe, from our last episode, I mentioned that all the stories I read about him said that, oh, he was great. He was quick with quotes. He was a quirky guy. Came up with these quotes. A lot of people have stolen them and called them their own, but I couldn't find any. So I dug up my book called Baseball's Greatest Quotations, and I found some here from Babe Herman that I did not have before. Such as this one. Dodgers owner Charles Ebbett offered to send him around the world. Now, I don't know if this was on a world tour with the team or just, you had a good year here. Babe's response was, quote, frankly, I'd prefer someplace else, end quote. I think I understand that one.
Yeah, I get that.
This one, he was talking to reporters about stories that had been written about him as being kind of a free spirit. And he said, quote, please stop writing those awful stories about me being crazy, end quote. He then proceeded to pull a lit cigar from his pocket and walked away.
I like that.
That's a good one there. And then there was confirmation here on the quote about somebody trying to impersonate him and cash checks. And he said, quote, the next time he comes in, take him out to the backyard, knock a few flies his way. If he catches any, it's not me, end quote. That was just,
that's good.
I was cleaning out the garage and I found a whole bunch of my baseball books and I remembered this book and I'm like, I need to look up and see if Babe did anything. And lo and behold, there it was.
Those are good. Those are really good quotes. I've never heard either one.
I've got a Ted Williams-esque story here from Japan. I mean, this is exactly like Ted Williams. So remember, we talked about Ted Williams allegedly noticing a shipment of his bats where the handle of his bat was like 0.005 inches too thick than what he normally ordered. Yokohama Baystar slugger Maki, he's just like Ichiro, just M-A-K-I. He uses a bat made by a company called SurePlay. And I guess there's just a guy that makes his bats, mistakenly sent him some that were thicker. And Mackie noticed it right away. And it was 0.07 inches thicker than usual. The craftsman was surprised that he had noticed it. I don't know if why would you send it if you know it's wrong? But he said that Mackie had been slumping a little bit and he was trying to help him. Maybe that's just his excuse.
Oh, that was nice of him. He's obviously a professional hitting instructor.
Yeah, and bat maker.
Makes bats. It's he can do two things at once.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, I totally messed up and I was just trying something new. All right, Mark, this show is debuting on January 10th. Now, there are obviously no debuts or anything like that, but today, something interesting happened in baseball history back in 1983. So this was just before I got really into baseball. I don't know if maybe you remember this, but New York Supreme Court Judge Richard Lane issued an injunction barring the Yankees from playing their season opening series against Detroit for the upcoming season in Denver, Colorado.
Weird.
Very strange, because the Yankees this was a contingency plan because they feared that the renovations they were making to Yankee Stadium during the offseason were not going to be done in time for that first homestand, April 11th through the 13th. But why would you choose Denver, Colorado?
Yeah, I mean, best offer? I have no idea. Maybe. No, I don't have any maybes. I have no freaking idea.
First of all, no team in Colorado at that point, right? So you've got the rarefied air, you've got the altitude. It seems kind of strange, but also, like, how many times do the Rockies start the season at home? And if they do, how many times are there pictures of like 3 feet of snow on the field and players having a snowball fight?
Right.
This makes no sense to me. Like, why wouldn't you choose somewhere in LA, or I don't know, maybe the Tropicana Dome was built at this point, just sitting there empty, or even just play it at your spring training like everybody else is going to be doing this year.
No kidding. Find a AAA park or a spring training park and play there.
Especially it's just one series. I mean, when the A's were building Mount Davis, when they started it, they opened the series in Cashman Field in Las Vegas when Vegas was their AAA club at that point. But going from Yankee Stadium to Denver, Colorado, where there was no professional level baseball stadium. I wonder, were they going to play it Mile High like the Rockies did those first couple of seasons or what? This just baffles my little brain here as to what George Steinbrenner was thinking at this point, or not thinking about.
He was thinking, Ken Phelps. That's another Seinfeld reference. Thank you very much.
Well, let's see. That's 2, and we're about halfway through the show, so could be more.
Here's one for you. I like starting stuff off with here's one for you. It's an old habit. Did you know Emma Roberts, the actress?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Talented, successful actress. Did you know she loves to collect baseball cards?
No.
She's a big collector. She likes opening packs and just like the rest of us. And she really enjoys the idea of the chase and finding a nice card. Well, guess what? She was opening a box of Topps Gilded. So this is not, the $2 pack.
These are not the packs that we're playing Wax Packs Heroes with.
No. Topps Gilded is a very high end.
They come with a bar of gold, is what I hear.
I pulled a Bagwell that has a bar of silver in it. So you never know.
All right.
Yeah. Well, it has a full troy ounce.
You can barter that when the monetary system goes under.
Yeah, I'll have that in my Vegas silver, and that's it. That's all I'll have to survive. It can get me by a day or two. But anyway, she pulled a 1-of-1 Jackson Holiday rookie Topps Gilded.
Wow.
This is an impressively valuable card. It's probably only going to increase in value. She actually posted on her social media, posted a picture of her holding it up. She immediately sleeved it, and so she was smart with it and everything like that. I was like, man, that's cool. I mean, I realize I'm a baseball geek, but maybe if M. Roberts is also, sort of a baseball geek, maybe I have good company. Maybe we have good company. I just wanted to point out that, hey, Emma Roberts, that's so cool. You make the rest of us geeks feel a little less geeky.
Do you think we can get her to come on and play Wax Packs Heroes?
Absolutely not. But I'll give it a shot. Maybe I can go through Eric Roberts. He seems to be taking work anywhere.
Now, frankly, I will watch Eric Roberts in anything. I love Eric Roberts.
I agree. I think he's fantastic. I'm a big fan. Eric is her dad, and Eric he works a lot. He has a big IMDb, but I am a fan of his as well. So,
and then her mom, is her mom Julia Roberts?
No, that's her aunt.
Her aunt. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well, I'm looking at some Topps Gilded, which I had never even heard of. I don't buy cards that are
right.
current anymore. They're all gold. I'm assuming they're not like, they're just gold colored. They
right.
look different, but there are a lot of autographs in here. There are also only superstars that are current players, and then a bunch of Hall of Famers. Like there is a Nolan Ryan card in here. There is a Rickey Henderson card in here. And, there's a bunch of just Hall of Famers and very well-known players in here as well. So it seems it's very exclusive is what it looks like.
Yeah, they only make a certain number of the cards and of the packs. I think they all might be numbered. So everything is somewhat limited, but she pulled a monster. Good for her.
If I am reading this correctly, it looks like they only print 99 of each player.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah, it is very limited. Wow.
It might be 99 of the regular base card, but they have other, this is one of 20.
Yeah.
One of 25.
Yeah. And then
she pulled the 1-of-1.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. All right. Well, send me that link. I want to watch this. I see some videos here of other people opening them with expressions of shock on their face.
And grandeur.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to know how much a box is. Well, I'm looking at a picture of them. And it comes in an exclusive black box with a gold leaf-like sleeve over it.
No, they're amazing cards. I've watched breaks of these cards, and they're really cool.
All right.
But I haven't gotten in on any.
Let's see if anybody wants to donate a box to us.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, that's enough. Well, you know what? That's not enough baseball card talk. Why don't let's just go right from that. Let's go right into the biggest segment of the show here. Let's head right into Wax Packs here.
Wax Pack Hero! Gonna pull a Wax Pack Hero! Stars in his eyes. Wax Pack Hero! On the podcast tonight.
All right, Mark, looking at the scoreboard, you took the L last game. David from the 88 Tops podcast could not help you. He fought tooth and nail, but I fought through at the end. Score right now is 13-10. We're playing first to 20. So we've still got a little ways to go, but I got a three game lead here. I'll take that. If you are new here or just want a refresher because it's been a couple of weeks, we are going to take a couple of packs of older baseball cards. I have some 1990 Fleers here that we're going to use, and we're going to basically play war with them like you used to do with regular playing cards. But we're going to use Baseball Reference War and some baseball cards. We're going to go one against each other. We're going to go up against each other, 1v1, card versus card, best of five, or not best of five, first to five, I'm sorry. It's been a while here. And we're going to take the Baseball Reference War of each card. Whoever has the highest wins that round. But we've got a couple of different things that can add or subtract to that. Any 80s baseball aesthetics that we can find. So real stirrups, glasses of any sort, flip downs, glasses, big science teacher glasses just to be able to see, eye black, anything like that. If you've got a mustache, those are all worth a 10th of an extra point. If it's a good mustache, like a really good, like Wilford Brimley type thing, we could give you a bonus additional 10th as well. If you're wearing something like 2-in-1 stirrups, which we don't like, that'll be a minus 10th of a point for anything like that. If the person on the card won any awards that year, like Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, MVP, they were an All-Star, or a Gold Glove winner, that's a half a point each for all of those things. If there's a Hall of Famer on the card, whether they are the focus or not, that's a whole extra point. If Rickey Henderson or Nolan Ryan happen to show up on any of these cards, I automatically win the round. If Rickey shows up, regardless of who pulls him, same thing goes for Nolan Ryan, and Mark will win that round. Any pop culture references we can easily find, you're going to get a half a point for that, unless they appeared on Seinfeld, The Simpsons, or Sabrina the Teenage Witch. You get a whole point for any of those, because those are the trifecta of goodness in pop culture. And if they were suspended for being on the Mitchell Report or any naughty things during their career, that is going to be a minus a half a point. All right, Mark, I have got two packs here of, as I said, 1990 Fleer. I've got one in my left hand, one in my right hand. Which one would you like?
Let's go right.
Right. All right. I'm going to
let you stick with your left.
I'm righto. All right, let's take a look at your card first. And wow, you are going to get somebody that we've talked about, had a whole episode about, I believe, but recently passed away. And it is with the Dodgers. It is Fernando Valenzuela.
Oh, nice.
Now, is he going to get pop culture points for having his jacket appear on Chips with Tommy Lasorda wearing it?
That's a good point.
I think he will. It's Chips. Let's see.
Yeah.
Overall, El Toro, 17 years in the big leagues, 11 with the Dodgers, 3 with the Padres. I don't remember 3. That was at the end of his career, but 3 whole years. Also pitched parts of seasons for Baltimore, Philadelphia, St. Louis, and the Angels. In 1990, that was his last year with the Dodgers. 1990, he went 13-13 with a 4.59 ERA in 33 games. 204 innings pitched, 223 hits allowed, a league high 104 earned runs. So that's not good. 19 home runs allowed. He struck out 115 and had an 80 ERA plus, and that is a minus 0.1 WAR.
Nice going, Fernando.
Yeah, but as I said, you're going to get pop culture points for the Chips reference there. So that will end up being a positive 0.4 right off the bat. Of course, we've talked about Fernando Mania before, Cy Young and Rookie of the Year, which is two things that in my mind don't go together, but he did it.
He did.
Of course, he passed away last year in October at the age of 63. What's with these guys passing away so young?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it, though.
Looking at this picture, Fernando always wore those big science teacher glasses, but unfortunately for you, he's also wearing 2-in-1s here. So you're going to start out with a 0.4, which is not too bad. I am going to start out here with somebody that was originally on our Do Not Talk About list, but has since been removed. It is here with the Dodgers, reliever John Wetland.
Yes.
John Wetland, let's see, overall 12 years in the big leagues, 4 with Texas, 3 with Montreal, 3 with the Dodgers, and 2 with the Yankees. Those Yankees seasons are the ones I know most. Like when I think of John Wetland, that's what I think of. He was He was the closer before Mariano Rivera, including leading the league in 1996 with 43. But in 1990, this was only his second year in the big leagues. He, went 2-4 with a 4.81 ERA. He started 5 games that year, only appeared in 22, 43 innings, 44 hits allowed, 36 strikeouts, a 77 ERA plus, and a minus 0.7 WAR.
Wow.
Yeah. Looking at this, he does have real stirrups on.
Well, you got that going for you.
Let's see. I'm not sure that there's going to be a whole lot more with John Wetland going on. Oh, he was traded with Tim Belcher to the Dodgers for Eric Davis and Kip Gross. Traded for Eric Davis. That's pretty cool. Not going to get me any points, but...
Did win the MVP of the World Series in 96, saving 4 games.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes, it is.
We have talked to a World Series MVP before, and we still talk about it in glowing, glowing terms. So, yeah. We won't go too much into the personal stuff. He was accused of stuff. It's been expunged. We're not going to talk about it or anything else. So that is an easy win for you, and you're up 1-0. All right.
How about that?
Here, you have got your next guy as a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. I do not remember Joe Price.
Me neither.
Maybe he's in that Gilded set. I don't know. Probably not. Joe Price, overall, 11 years in the big leagues, 7 with Cincinnati, 3 with the Giants, and then Baltimore and Boston. In 1990 was his final year in the big leagues. He spent it with the Orioles. He went 3-4 with a 3.58 ERA. Out of the bullpen, appeared in 50 games, 65 1/3 innings pitched, only 62 hits allowed, struck out 54 for a 107 ERA and a 0.4 WAR. That's pretty good for somebody that I don't know who they are. Nothing else on this card is going to help you out. Let's see if I don't think that I'm going to safely say that I don't think he has any pop culture appearances. No, he does not. All right, so you've got a 0.4, same as your first card. Let's see if you can beat my pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who I have also not familiar with, Randy Kramer.
Kramer? There's your Seinfeld reference.
Yeah, is this who Kramer was based on, that Kramer?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Oh, this guy's from San Jose, Bay Area guy here. Overall, 4 years in the big leagues, 3 with the Bucks, and then the Cubs and your Seattle Mariners for a little bit in 1992. Do you remember that?
Oh, of course I don't.
Yeah. Well, 1990, he split time between the Bucks and the Cubs. Overall, he went 0-3 with a 4.5 ERA, 22 games, 46 innings, 47 hits, 27 strikeouts, but he walked 21. That's not a good stat there. 86 ERA plus, and that is good for a WAR of minus 0.1.
Wow.
He does have a mustache on, but that's just going to get me to 0. And unless he has got some big time pop culture references, I'm not feeling great. He was a first round draft pick by the Rangers, however, in 1982. And his Wikipedia page is even shorter than Joe Price's. And there is no mention of him being the basis of Kramer on Seinfeld. So
I wonder if he ever faced Andy Benes, because Elaine Benes and Kramer, it could be a Seinfeld thing right there. Like when, never mind.
Now, was Andy Benes? Now, were the Beneses? Are they Latino?
I don't think so, but I'm not positive.
Just I'm stuck in Seinfeld episodes right now.
That's
all I'm doing. All right, so you're up 2-0. You have got a member of the 1990 World Series champions here, of the Reds.
Oh, boy.
Catcher, Joe Oliver.
Oh, Joe played for the Mariners a little bit.
Yes, he did. Let's see, overall, 13 years in the big leagues, most of it, 8 years with Cincinnati, 2 years with the Mariners. That was his second longest tenured team was the Mariners at 2 seasons. And those were not consecutive seasons. Yeah, he was on the Mariners in 98, the Bucks in 99, and then back with the Mariners in 2000. He also spent parts of seasons with Milwaukee, Detroit, Pittsburgh, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. In 1990, this was only his second year in the big leagues. 121 games, hit 231, 304 on base, 360 slugging, 8 home runs, 52 RBI, a 79 OPS plus, and an even 1 WAR. Oh, he's got real stirrups on. This is during batting practice here. This is a posed shot. He's squatting down with his catcher's glove, and I'm going to give you some extra 80s aesthetics points here. Do you remember the catcher gloves where along the rim, the outer rim, it was a bright orange?
Yes.
Like a high-vis vest?
Yes.
He's got one of those bad boys right here.
Sweet.
What happened to those? Why did those fall out of favor?
Yeah, I don't
know. But whatever. That's going to take you to a 1.2 here for Joe Oliver before we get too far into his career. Had a pretty good World Series against who didn't, though, in reality? He hit 333, had a couple of ribs. Let's see. In the 90s, Oliver was an early investor in Sticks Baseball, a baseball bat manufacturer that was eventually bought by Easton.
That's American dream. Start a company and sell it to a bigger company.
Yeah. All right. So that is a 1.2 for you. And you are going up against one of your guys and a guy that has a great Rickey Henderson story, the Mariners, Harold Reynolds.
Oh, yes. Base stealer extraordinaire.
The only person to dislodge Rickey during the 80s of leading the league in stolen bases.
Yes, when Rickey was, of course, hurt.
Yes. Also, Harold stole a base his final game of that year to put him ahead of Willie Wilson. Willie Wilson, who was the last person in the American League to lead the league in stolen bases before Rickey Henderson. So, your Rickey tidbit for the day. Let's see. Harold Reynolds, overall 12 years in the big leagues, 10 with the Mariners, and then Baltimore and the Angels for his final 2 seasons. In 1990, led the league in at-bats and plate appearances. He played a lot. Let's see, hit 252, only a 336 on base. For somebody that steals a lot of bases, that's not great. 347 slugging percentage, 5 home runs, 55 RBI, 31 stolen bases, and 92 OPS plus. He won a Gold Glove that year. I don't think it's going to matter because he had a 4.8 WAR, a career high.
Ooh, yeah,
that season.
That's a good year.
So, yeah, I think I might get on the board here. First round draft pick by the Mariners in 19. He was traded by the Padres to the Angels. Do you remember this in 1994 for Hilly Hathaway?
I don't. I don't remember the name.
If you told me Hilly Hathaway, I would have guessed he played in maybe 1893, not 1993.
See, and I would have guessed the character from Little House on the Prairie.
Well, his full name is Hillary Houston Hathaway.
Wow, it is Little House on the Prairie.
So I would have maybe even guessed if you told me that he or they played in the All-American Girls Baseball League.
Yes.
I have never heard of Hilly Hathaway, but congratulations to him. He played 2 years in the big leagues. Of course, Harold has gone on to do TV for a lot of different people. Networks would be the best way to describe that. Won a couple of Gold Gloves as well. Well, that's good news for me. Oh, he's got a mustache too, but it again doesn't matter. I was way out ahead.
That game's over.
All right, this will be interesting. I think you should win this one pretty easily. You've got a guy here for the Kansas City Royals. I might as well just give you like 1,000 pop culture reference points. It is Bo Jackson.
Bo knows.
Bo knows is right. We've talked about Bo several times here. I don't think we did a whole episode, but we did a good chunk about Bo Jackson I just remember doing it. Let's see. Overall, 8 years, of course, in the big leagues. That's not including his NFL years. 5 with the Royals, 2 with the White Sox, 1 with the Angels. In 1990, with the Royals, in 111 games, he hit 272, 342 on base, 523 slugging, 28 home runs. This was his last real productive year of his baseball career. 78 RBI, 15 stolen bases, and a 142 OPS plus, and that is good for a 3.5 WAR. I'm just going to bump that right up to a 4 for the pop culture reference. Nothing on this card, though, is going to help you out. It's kind of like a waist-up shot.
Yeah. The Bo Knows campaign is definitely pop culture points. He was on Married with Children, too.
Oh, is he in the 94 Strike episode?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he was on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Maybe we should look that up. I haven't seen that.
Oh, Bo has a Bachelor of Science degree in Family and Child Development.
Yeah, I remember he did finish his degree. It says here he also appeared in the film. It says as well as films such as The Chamber. The way that's worded would lead me to believe that he was in more than one.
Yes.
All right, we're going to have to look up IMDb then. It says he was in an episode of The Sentinel in 1996. He was in The Chamber in 1996 as well. Busy year, TV-wise, and movie. Was in a movie called The Pandora Project in 1998. Was in an episode of Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, apparently. Moesha, Diagnosis Murder. Fakin' Da Funk, apparently. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. Inside Schwartz, the old Breckenmeyer vehicle. Oh, he was on an episode of Ghost Rider as well on PBS.
Okay.
But there you go. All right, that's plenty. You're up at a 4, and
Who
you're
has more IMDb credits, me or him?
Well, let's not. I don't want to bring the show down.
Wow.
Let's see. Thanks. And you're going up against a pitcher for the Pirates, Bill Landrum. I'd rather it be Tito Landrum, I think, but we got some pitchers we've just not heard of in this episode. Bill Landrum, though, 8 years in the big leagues, 3 with the Bucks, 3 with the Reds, Montreal, and the Cubs for 1 apiece. 1990 with Pittsburgh, he went 7-3 with a 2.13 ERA out of the bullpen. Had 13 saves, 71 2/3 innings, 69 hits allowed, struck out 39, a 170 ERA plus. That equals a 1.2 WAR. He does have real stirrups. This would be an outstanding card for a middle reliever, but he's going up against Bo Jackson.
Right.
So it's not really going to do a whole lot for me unless he likewise was on that 94 episode.
He was one of the lighting guys.
He was the gaffer.
Yes, or the best boy.
The best boy, yeah.
Yeah, he was gaffing and stuff, and he needed work.
His father, Joe Landrum, pitched for the Brooklyn Dodgers in the 1950s, apparently, as well. But that's another win for you there. You're up 3-1. This is not going well. Oh, boy, you got a Hall of Famer here, too, so this is not a good sign. You've got here outfielder for the New York Yankees, and there'll be some pop culture here. It's Dave Winfield.
Oh, yes.
I'll even give you an extra 1/10 of a point because I saw him in the airport once.
That makes sense. That's one of those random additions. By the way, update. I have 13 IMDb credits to Bo's 12.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've not looked at your IMDb recently then. Have you been adding these? Are you working elsewhere?
I've been doing a few voiceovers.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, we'll link that in the show notes. How about that?
Oh, good. Everybody go visit it. I'll be like the 183,000th most popular actor in the world.
Hey, it's higher up than I am. Let's see here. Overall, I mean, Dave Winfield. This is Dave Winfield. We love Dave Winfield. 22 years in the big leagues. 9 with the Yankees. 8 with the Padres. Angels and Twins for 2. Toronto and Cleveland for a year apiece. Let's see. 12-time All-Star. Won the 1992 World Series with the Toronto Blue Jays, of course. 7 Gold Gloves. 6 Silver Sluggers. And won a Roberto Clemente Award, which is a very big deal. In 1990, he split time between the Yankees and the Angels. Overall, hit .267, 338 on base, 453 slugging percentage, 21 home runs, 78 RBI, a 122 OPS plus, and that is good for a .7. Plus, he's in the Hall of Fame, so that is a 1.7. Nothing else on this card is going to get you any points. And he did not win any awards that year. Overall first-round draft pick by the Dads in 1973. He was only traded technically once in his career for Mike Witt, but if you remember, he was also traded during the strike for a dinner. But that did not go through.
No.
check did not clear there. Oh, how about this? On Thanksgiving Day, 1981, he sang I'll Take Manhattan atop a Big Apple float of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Oh, wow.
And he was on that strike episode of Married with Children.
Well, there you go.
That's great.
I saw Dave once at Benaroya Hall. They were doing, it was orchestral show
Maneuvers
about baseball.
in the Dark?
No, not OMD. No, a show about baseball. And his part was to come out and read Casey at the Bat.
Oh, that must have been cool.
It was really cool.
Well, he's going to get you plenty here. I don't think this is going to be too much of a problem. Although you've got a good nickname you're going up against. It's Jim, 2 silhouettes on Deshays from the Houston Astros.
It's one of my favorite players.
Let's see, 12 years in the big leagues, 7 with Houston, 2 with Minnesota, and then the Padres, Giants, Yankees, and Phils for parts of seasons. 1990 with the Astros, went 7-12 with a 3.78 ERA, 209 innings, only 186 hits allowed, 119 strikeouts for a 99 ERA plus, and that is good for a 3.0.
Wow.
A WAR. He also has 2-1s on, so that's not really good, but so take that to a 2.9. We've mentioned that he is an announcer with the Astros. Nothing else. Well, let's see. Your 1.7.
Yeah.
Is going to lose here.
Jimmy Deshays is defeating outright Steve Winfield.
Let's just make sure here. So let's see. A 2.9. You had a 1.7. Well, that's not with the Hall of Fame bonus, though.
I think it was. He gave him a point for Hall of Fame.
Okay, well, then he also has the pop culture references. So that would be a 2.2, which is still not going to beat Jim Deshays.
No, I tell you, Deshays was an underrated pitcher.
Well, all right. All right, your next is one of my guys. Really like this guy. Here he is with the Giants. It's World Kevin Mitchell.
Ah, yes.
It is 3-2, by the way, is our score.
Gotcha.
Let's see. First of all, I had a video come out on YouTube I put out a while ago that was some things you saw in the 80s and 90s in baseball you don't see anymore. I have a list already started for a follow-up video, and there's a famous picture of him doing one of these things where he is sitting in a clubhouse with no shirt, a jock strap on with some, long underwear underneath it, and he's shaving his bat handle. Nobody shaves their bat handle anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. It's one of the, I know like Canseco used to do it. Mattingly used to do it. Like that was the thing to do that. Let's see. Overall, 13 years in the big leagues, 5 with the Giants, 3 with the Reds, 2 with the Mets, and then a bunch of other teams, including the Mariners and the A's. In 1990, he was an all-star, as if you need help here. Hit 290, 360 on base, 554 slugging, 35 home runs, 93 RBI. He was an all-star as well and had a 4.1 WAR.
Ooh.
So that'll be 4.6 with the all-star bonus there. Let's see. He's been traded a lot. We've gone through all this before. We've had him, quite a few times, so we don't need to go through all of that. Nicknamed World because he used to play both the infield and outfield, which I guess encompasses the entire world.
Baseball world? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Not seeing anything in terms of pop culture, but that's a 4.6 for you. Oh, wow, this is going to be a good one. All right. I don't look at these until I flip them over, but I have got a Hall of Famer here.
Uh-oh.
Second baseman for the Cubs. It's Ryan Sandberg.
I could be in trouble.
You very well could. Now, I think we mentioned it a show or two ago. I think Rhino just announced that his cancer had returned, unfortunately.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
So, I don't know. I'm kind of bracing myself for more bad news at some point in the near future. But 16 years in the big leagues for Rhino. Of course, most of it, and basically all of it with the Cubs, 15. He came up and appeared in 13 games with the Phillies in 81 before they traded him away. Because that's a good move. A good move? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
He was traded with Larry Bow. I'm sorry, for Ivan De Jesus. So, yeah.
Oops.
I'm going to say the Cubs won that one. Let's see. Overall in 1990, not a shock here. He was an all-star. Also won a Gold Glove. Led the league in runs and home runs. Finished fourth in MVP voting. Hit .306, a .354 on base, .559 slugging. I mentioned the 40 home runs, 100 RBI, the first of 2 consecutive exact 100 RBI seasons. Stole 25 bases, a 140 OPS plus, led the league in total bases, a 7.1 WAR.
Woo.
So a 4.6 WAR for Kevin Mitchell, and he just gets blown out, like doubled up.
Kidding.
Wow.
Jeez.
By Rhino. We've talked a lot about Rhino before, so we won't go too much in depth there, but thoughts go out to Rhino. Hopefully he's doing better. All right, Mark, I've now tied it up. It's 3-3.
Great.
We're going the distance here. Oh, wow. All right, I've just seen both cards here. This is a matchup for the millennia here, and you'll see why when we get to them. You have got second baseman here for the New York Yankees, Steve Sax.
Nice.
So right there, you are going to get Simpsons and Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
That's a big hit.
That is. Let's see. Saxy, overall, 14 years in the big leagues, 8 years with the Dodgers, 3 with the Mets, 2 with the White Sox, and 1 with the Oakland Athletics. 1990, good news for you. He was an all-star that year, his final all-star year with the Yankees. He hit .260, .316 on base, .325 slugging, 4 home runs, 42 RBI, 43 stolen bases. Wow, for 3 years in a row, he went 42, 43, 43 on stolen bases with a career 444. It's a big total. Only an 80 OPS plus here, though. A .316 on base. That's awful for anybody, let alone somebody that's stealing 43 bases. Think how many he could have had. Overall, though, that is a 1.4. He was an all-star, so that'll be a 1.9. Then you're going to get 2 whole extra points of WAR for the Sabrina and Simpsons.
Yes.
So that's a 3.9. He does have real stirrups on here as well. So that will take you up to 4.0 even.
Wow. Okay. Who am I up against?
Yeah, I think we can jump right into it because we've talked about Sax before. He is going up against fellow Sabrina the Teenage Witch alumni, Brady Anderson.
Wow. The Battle of the Witch.
Now, he is not going to get 2 full points because he was not on The Simpsons or Seinfeld. But we have in the past given him an extra 1/10 of a point for those sideburns, and we will continue to do so.
Absolutely deserving.
All right, so let's see. Brady Anderson, overall 15 years in the big leagues, 14 with Baltimore, and then parts of seasons with Boston, who he came up with his first season before he was traded to Baltimore, and Cleveland, where he spent his final season. In 1990, with Baltimore, .231 batting average, a .327 on base, a .308 slugging. This is clearly before he started figuring out what steroids were. Hit 3 home runs, 24 RBI, stole 15 bases for an 82 OPS plus and a .4 WAR. He does have real stirrups on here, along with the sideburns and the Sabrina money. That is still not enough, unless we're going to give him like 3 whole points of WAR for marrying a K-pop idol.
Wow.
Is that a thing?
I don't think that's on the list.
That's not an 80s baseball aesthetic?
No, I don't think it is.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good 6 years before he really hit the juice hard. Well, in 96, when he hit the 50 home runs, I think pretty much everybody did. There you go. Yeah. All right. Well, Steve Sax outlasts Brady Anderson. So you're up 4-3, and we go into what could be the final round here. Let's see what you have got. Outfielder for the New York Yankees, Deion Sanders.
Prime time.
So you're going to get definite pop culture points right off the bat there.
So I had Bo and Deion?
That's right. And Steve Sax. I mean, this is and Fernando. Like, you have had a stacked pack of pop culture references.
Man, no kidding.
Let's see. Primetime overall, 9 years in professional baseball. 4 with Atlanta, 4 with Cincinnati, 2 with the Yankees, 1 with the Giants. In 1990, it was his second year with the Yankees. He hit a I'm just going to, paltry, I think is the only way to describe it. A 158 with a 236 on base and a 271 slugging. 3 home runs, 9 RBI, 8 stolen bases, and a 42 OPS plus.
Ouch.
That is not good. A minus 0.6 WAR. And he's wearing 2-1s. So that's a minus 0.7 there before we get into any of the off the field stuff for Neon Dion.
Prime time wearing 2-1s. That just doesn't sound right.
Hey, it does. And seeing a lot of videos of him, he didn't wear them very often, but in this card, he is most definitely wearing them.
Sharp dresser he is?
Yeah. Now, I know he currently has a reality show or just did, and I think he's hosting a game show as well. So I'm just going to give you pop culture points, right off the bat there.
And don't forget the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's the wrong Hall of Fame.
No, it's a football Hall of Fame. It counts, right?
Well, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Let me ask the commissioner. No,
okay.
That's not good.
Well, as long as he thought about it.
Yeah. I mean, he played for my favorite football team, and I'm a big football fan. So,
oh yes, we all know that.
Let's see. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that his pop culture part of Wikipedia is longer than most people's entire page.
Yeah, he's a pretty good self-promoter.
Yeah. Well, he rapped. Was he in Too Legit to Quit video?
He was. Yep.
Was he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Jerry Glanville was too.
Oh, so was Rickey.
Yeah.
I mean, he has got just a laundry list of things here, but none of these count. You don't get extra points here. You only get extra if you were in Sabrina, Seinfeld, or The Simpsons. He was on Undercover Boss, but still, how are you going to not recognize him?
That's a good point. Maybe the 2-1s were part of that.
Yeah, that must
no one will believe it.
Yeah,
no one will believe it's me. I'm wearing 2-1s. The ultimate fashion Faux pass.
All right, so you're at a minus 0.2 for Deion Sanders.
Ouch.
Let's see if he can still best catcher for the White Sox, Matt Morello.
Okay.
Now, I at least remember Matt Morello. I don't know that I'm going to beat Deion Sanders with him, but I at least remember that name. Morello, overall, 6 years in the big leagues, 4 with the White Sox, and then 1 with Minnesota, 1 with Cleveland. Well, I think I'm going to win here because his rookie season was 1989. He did not appear in 1990 in the big leagues, and then came back and played in 1991. There is nothing on this card that is going to get me anything. So unless he was suspended for something, which he was not, and he appeared as a feature, he was featured in a book called Clubby, written by a clubhouse attendant for the minor league Ironbirds at one point.
Really?
But with a score of 0, Matt Morello will beat Deion Sanders.
Career 234 hitter, 59 RBIs.
All right. So we're tied up at 4-4, and we're going into the final round here. Winner takes all, and it's no fair because you have got one of my guys who this was the day we're recording this. This was supposed to be the first full day of Oakland A's fantasy camp before it was canceled. And I would have been hanging out with none other than Carney Lansford.
Oh, yes. The great Carney Lansford. Love that guy.
Chili con Carney Lansford, the captain. Hit or Die, what was his name in Angels of the Outfield? I remember it was Hit or Die. I don't remember what his actual name was. But let's see. Overall, Chili con Carney. I need to say that because otherwise you think we're talking about Chili Davis. Bring it all back to the beginning. Professional podcasting. 10 years with the A's, 3 with the Angels, 2 with Boston. Won a batting title, 1981 with Boston. 1990 with Oakland. Oh, this was not. It was 91 was the year he got hurt in the snowmobile accident. But
oh yes,
yeah, 1990, not a great year for Chili. Why do I keep calling him Chili? Not a great year for Carney. 268 average, 333 on base, 320 slugging, 3 home runs, 50 RBI. He did have 16 stolen bases. He was caught 14 times. That's awful. You should not do that. 88 OPS plus for a 1.0 WAR. He does have a mustache on here, but that's the only thing here that's going to help you out. As I mentioned, though, in Angels in the Outfield, so that'll be a positive 0.5 for you. 1989 World Series champ, of course. Kit Hit or Die Kersey.
There you go. Yes.
Oh, wow. He was a batting coach in the CPBL in 2015. I didn't know about that. I would have liked to have asked him about that. Oh, that's right. I didn't ask him last year because we found this out. In 2019, he created a personal webpage where he announced he would be recapping and commenting on The Mandalorian. The webpage has since been deactivated, and he never offered any public commentary on the show.
Man, what a ripoff.
Oh, boy. I know I was going to ask him about that last year, and I think I mentioned this. He still intimidates me.
Yeah.
Like everybody else there, I got no problem going up and just talking smack to. Not Carney Lansford. That dude still intimidates me. All right. Yeah. So you've got a 1.6, and you're going up against Angels pitcher Willie Frazier.
Oh, man. Hey, you never know in this game.
You don't. I mean, Dion went down.
Yep.
Willie Frazier, let's see, overall 8 years in the big leagues, 5 with the Angels, and then Cardinals, Expos, Blue Jays, and the Fish for parts of seasons. In 1990, ooh, all right, 1990, he went 5-4 with a 3.08 ERA out of the bullpen. 45 games, he had 2 saves, 76 innings pitched, only 69 hits allowed. Struck out 32 for a 1.24 ERA plus. Whoa. And a 1.4 WAR. Oh, I wish he had a mustache. That would take him up to 1.5. I seriously doubt that Willie Frazier has ever had any pop culture reference. I do want to mention he was a first-round draft pick by the Angels in 1985 and was once traded with, another professional podcasting moment here, traded with Devon White to the Blue Jays.
Hey, there you go.
For Junior Felix, one of my guys, and Luis Sojo, one of your guys.
Hey.
All right. Willie Frazier, pop culture. Oh, he played for the Orcs Blue Wave. Might have been no, Ichiro wasn't playing there. Yes, he was. He won the second most games en route to the 96 Japan series, where he was teammates with Troy Neal. Oh
my gosh.
And Ichiro Suzuki.
Wow.
That is 3-year stint in the NPBL, all with the Blue Wave. Wow. That is great. After retirement, he was an independent scout for players in Japan.
No kidding.
Unfortunately, none of this is pop culture related.
No, it's not. Tough luck, man.
He was, how about this? He was selected in the 85 draft ahead of Randy Johnson and John Smoltz.
Oh, that's funny.
Do I get 0.2 of a point for that?
You sure don't.
Damn it. All right. Well, at least I lost on Carney Lansford.
Yeah, you can pat yourself on the back for that.
Hang my hat on that. So congratulations. That takes you up to 11 to my 13. That was these last 2 games have gone all the way to the end.
Yeah, we've been battling. I think our players are starting to get in midseason form.
I will say this. When David was playing for you, we went the distance and had the crappiest players I think we've ever drawn. This time we had some great players here.
Yeah, for sure.
2 two-way players and several Sabrina alum and Simpsons alum. So there you go. All right. Well, congratulations, Mark. You've bested me again.
It's all skill, my friend.
There you go. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for joining us. If you want more of us, just check out the show notes or type it in the Google machine, 2 Strike Noise. That is at TWO Strike Noise. We are on the socials. As I've mentioned, I've been streaming probably about twice a week on Twitch, just doing some baseball dailies. Just takes like half an hour to an hour. If you don't catch me live, you can still watch them. The Twitch, you can watch old broadcasts, but if you're there live, like our longtime listener Andrew is there quite a bit, you can help me out with doing the Immaculate Grid and that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. Hopefully you can join us or watch those VODs, and also check out the YouTube page. I'm in the midst of editing another what I hope is just wildly successful video.
Viral, baby.
Viral. The last ones have done pretty well, so I've been very happy with that.
There you go.
But Mark, we also had some email that people can reach us at.
Yes, people can write to us at 2strike-noise, spell it out, TWO, strike-noise @gmail.com.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank everybody just one more time for your thoughts and well wishes with what's been going on. Let's just hope this year turns it around. It can't get much worse than last year, so let's turn it around. I hope everybody, again, had a great holiday season, and thank you for joining us this week, and we will see you on the next episode of Two Strike Noise.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a great day.